See, all that hating, all that hate don't get you nowhere. Haters always gonna get theirs, man. They always gonna get theirs. News has broken. We didn't even know. Shout out to Livewire Sports. Shout out to the homie over there, man. Go sub up to Livewire Sports. Sheryl Swoopes. Y'all remember when Sheryl Swoopes was doing that disrespectful bias reporting on Caitlyn Clark during the Dallas Wings game when she was a part of the telecast? They ended up firing her. And y'all remember all the hate and jealousy that Sheryl Swoopes and Lexie Brown was kicking over there on Gills Arena during Caitlyn Clark's rookie year and even before her rookie season even started? Y'all remember all of that? They have both been fired from Underdog.
Hate is a terrible business model, no matter how you slice it. Two of the WNBA's loudest and most persistent critics of Caitlyn Clark, Sheryl Swoopes and Lexie Brown, have reportedly lost their positions at Underdog Sports, and the news is spreading fast. The confirmation sent shockwaves through sports media, and the irony is loud enough to echo. This feels like one of those moments where the pressure finally flips the script. Let's be honest for a second. Is this just bad timing, or is the universe keeping track and settling scores right on schedule?
Nemhart, dog.
Yeah, I think Lexie got let go. Ooh, nice. You been to that? No, the fuck I didn't.
Now let's get these numbers
out,
up, chat. What's fourth quarter?
I think Lexie told. I guess Lexie did I did a show with her, one of her other co-hosts.
Oh,
She
Mariah?
came here and did Joy Taylor, and then she found out that Sheryl got let go.
Oh, damn, I didn't even know that.
Huh?
So I didn't even know that, but I just mind my business, man.
So I hit Sheryl to see if it was true.
We hear it all the time. Non-stop negativity doesn't lead to success. It doesn't cover the bills, it doesn't protect contracts, and it definitely doesn't lock down long-term media spots. You can't build a brand on bitterness and expect it to last forever. And yet, watching that lesson get proven publicly like this feels wild. This wasn't behind closed doors. This was front stage and loud. The news broke heavily. Major shout out to Livewire Sports and the homie Gilbert Arenas for being the first to drop the information. According to reports, Sheryl Swoopes and Lexie Brown, two voices who have been consistently critical of Caitlyn Clark, were allegedly fired from their roles at Underdog Sports. That's not a small shuffle. That's a serious move with serious implications. People noticed, and the reaction has been instant.
Swoopes she's lighting herself on fire, Steve. They had to pull her off a game because she can't be trusted to call Caitlyn Clark games correctly or fairly. They basically pulled her off the game for racism. You're too much of a bigot to call Caitlyn Clark games. We're pulling you off the game.
Anyone who's been watching women's basketball media over the past 2 years already knows the energy. The names Swoopes and Brown don't come up quietly anymore. Their time on Gills Arena was supposed to bring high-level basketball talk, real analysis, and insight from people who lived the game. Instead, for long stretches, the focus drifted away from the court and locked onto resistance. Not just criticism, pushback. Pushback against momentum. Pushback against growth. Pushback against a player whose impact was already undeniable. That player is Caitlyn Clark. And pretending she wasn't changing the game just didn't match reality, then suddenly, silence. Allegedly fired, seats cleared, and platforms reset. Gilbert Arenas, who runs the operation, reportedly confirmed that Underdog Sports cut ties. No soft phrasing, no long runway. When you look back at how Swoopes and Brown used that platform, the tone, the framing, the repeated shots, it's clear why people are connecting dots. This wasn't about a healthy debate anymore. It looked like bias, resentment, and repeated dismissal aimed at the biggest surge of attention the WNBA has seen in decades. Brands noticed that energy. Audiences feel it, and negativity sticks to everything around it. So the real question stays on the table. Was this simply a financial decision, or did the constant negativity finally become bad for business? I'm leaning toward the second lane hard, because when hate becomes the headline, the brand usually pays the price sooner or later.
She averaged 31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9 assists, right? Did anyone expect her to do that in WNBA?
Those three?
No, right? So she didn't do that.
No.
Now, if we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
That's crazy.
Is
that dominant?
those
are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
rookie.
But to me, that's not
Period.
dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
If,
No.
Yeah,
so
because if she's putting up numbers like Asia right now, would she be dominating?
yes.
So it's about the number.
You remember the hate, all the manufactured drama, the slick comments, the constant side-eye thrown on Gills Arena. This wasn't normal basketball analysis anymore. It felt personal, direct, and intentional. The tone was sharp, the energy was off, and it didn't take much reading between the lines to see what was really going on. This all started before Caitlyn Clark even officially stepped into the professional league, and once her first season got rolling, it somehow got worse. The spotlight was blinding, the money was real, the attention was massive. And to some people, it felt undeserved because she hadn't paid her dues the way they thought she should have. What followed was a non-stop, exhausting effort to downplay greatness happening in real time. A transparent attempt to minimize what everyone else could clearly see. While fans were watching history unfold, certain voices were busy nitpicking, dismissing, and throwing shade instead of acknowledging the impact.
Crazy. It was hating on there though.
It wasn't.
They? Who is they?
It's not about.
Who is they?
That would be you, Lexie Brown. You're they. You were part of the people that were hating on her. You.
Already.
Yeah, like, don't be dumb, WNBA.
Double prices. But
Like,
let's be real. That's the Caitlyn Clark
the same
effect.
thing with Wemby. They put him on TV every day too. Like, let's not overreact about this. Yeah, but they
those are
play different.
Yeah, those are
What?
Kaylin, they wasn't taking 23s a game.
Pick and roll.
I don't know.
She makes threes. She makes tough shots. She's a great passer. She
So
finishes
you
at
don't
all
think
levels.
anybody in the league can shoot three?
That's why a lot of us started asking the same question. Where did Sheryl Swoopes and Lexie Brown go? Gills Arena changed up its format. Gilbert Arenas reworked the deal. Fewer shows, tighter rotation, and the panel shifted. You still see Kenyon Martin, Brandon Jennings, Rashad McCants, Nick Young. Salute to all of them. They're holding it down. But Swoopes and Brown completely disappeared. Then Gilbert Arenas gave the answer. Simple, clean, and poetic. They were let go. According to reports, Swoopes was fired from Underdog Sports, and Lexie Brown was also released. Suddenly, everything clicked into place. That explains why Lexie Brown is now pushing her own content. Shout out to her Full Circle podcast. No hate here. Build your lane, do your thing. Still, the irony is loud. She's now grinding to build something similar to what she allegedly lost. That's just part of the bigger picture. As for Swoopes, she's nowhere near the big stages right now. Maybe she's working quietly behind the scenes, but the spotlight is gone. And let's be real. The energy they were bringing wasn't sustainable anyway. It was constant. It was nasty. It felt soaked in jealousy. You could practically feel it through the screen. This wasn't a healthy disagreement or a hoops debate. It felt like a personal mission to discredit Caitlyn Clark at every turn. She's not that good. She hasn't proven anything. She needs more time. Over and over again. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark was dragging the sport into a new era of attention, relevance, and real money. She was expanding the audience, filling arenas, and shifting the entire business model of the WNBA. That's not hype, that's numbers. There was one moment that said everything. The one time Lexie Brown finally gave Clark real credit. When Clark's team came to Los Angeles to play the Sparks, Brown's team at the time, that arena was packed. Wall-to-wall energy, a level of excitement Brown had likely never seen in her pro career. And in that moment, she had no choice but to admit it. Yeah, okay, big motion. But before that, nothing but negativity. A refusal to see the bigger picture, a self-destructive mindset that ended up costing them their seats. Now, They're not even on the platform anymore. Business doesn't like toxic energy when real money is involved. The Swoopes situation hits even harder. She was part of an official WNBA broadcast, a Dallas Wings game. During that telecast, her commentary toward Caitlyn Clark came off as openly biased and dismissive. That's not just a podcast opinion, that's a league broadcast. That kind of conflict doesn't slide when the stakes are this high. And reportedly, she was let go from that role too. So now, Sheryl Swoopes has allegedly been fired twice over the same approach. That's not random, that's a pattern. The biggest takeaway is clear. While Caitlyn Clark is selling out arenas, pulling in millions of new viewers, and raising the value of every franchise and contract in the league, the old guard chose resentment over reality. They confused personal feelings with objective analysis. And when you choose ego over momentum, business always chooses momentum. The money follows growth, and growth has no patience for negativity. Now let's pivot from the firing news, from the just desserts being served straight into what's happening inside the WNBA right now. And honestly, it's even messier. This situation feels like the perfect distraction from an uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Some players are simply more valuable than others, and the tension is boiling over. We're talking about the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA negotiations, and the growing hostility between players and owners. Things aren't moving forward, they're stuck. A new season is coming fast, and the players are clearly frustrated. You can feel it. We've seen high-profile names speak out publicly, including Kelsey Plum, who didn't hold back at all. That energy says everything about how deep this divide really is. This constant back and forth has taken center stage, and it all circles around a few key issues that expose how much resentment exists on both sides. The first one is a major conflict of interest sitting right at the top of the table. Nneka Ogwumike, the WNBPA president, recently signed a lucrative multi-year deal with Project B. Now let's be clear, players getting paid is not the issue. Secure the bag, build the future, no problem. But when the president of the Players Union signs a massive deal with a competing league, one that directly challenges the WNBA's calendar rules and player prioritization, that's a serious red flag. She's supposed to be negotiating on behalf of WNBA players, but her personal money is now tied to a league pushing against the WNBA's core structure. That puts her in an impossible position. How do you sit across from the league and negotiate fairly when your own financial interests benefit from the WNBA bending the rules? That kind of overlap shakes trust, union leadership needs credibility, and this situation creates doubt at the worst possible time. Then there's the battle over team housing and free vehicles. Owners are reportedly pushing to remove certain perks, free cars, and mandatory team-provided housing. In response, players have gone public, demanding that housing remain mandatory, even as more players sign high-value contracts. Their reasoning isn't crazy. Stability matters, especially in a league where players move often. For rookies, short-term replacements, and players on temporary injury contracts, housing support absolutely makes sense. That part should be locked in. But for veterans on long-term high-dollar deals, you can understand why owners are pushing back. At some point, the league has to balance growth with sustainability. This isn't just about perks. It's about how resources are allocated as money finally starts flowing in. And that's what makes this whole standoff so tense. The league is growing, the money is increasing, but everyone wants their piece first. Until that gets sorted out, this tension isn't going anywhere. They're pouring fresh money into the league right now. Money that didn't magically appear. It was generated largely by the Caitlyn Clark effect, and everybody knows it. With that money flowing in, the owners are now looking hard at expenses they feel don't make sense anymore, especially for highly paid professionals, and that's where the standoff gets ugly. From the players' side, these perks are basic, just part of doing business. From the owner's side, it looks like unnecessary luxury for top earners. Two completely different perspectives. Zero movement and no progress at all. That's why this situation feels stuck in cement. But the real battlefield isn't housing or cars. The biggest fight is prioritization and training camps. This is the direct hit. The nuclear option owners are reportedly lining up. And yes, it's aimed straight at overseas leagues, including Project B. The owners want to start WNBA training camps much earlier. Not just a little earlier, way earlier. They're talking about camps overlapping with the NCAA Women's March Madness tournament. Let that sink in for a second. That move isn't subtle. It's a direct challenge to players who rely on overseas contracts to boost their income. The message is loud and clear. If you want to play in the WNBA, you need to be here. You need to prioritize this league. No more flying in late, no more bouncing between seasons, no more loopholes. This isn't about scheduling, it's about control. The owners are finally putting their foot down and saying the WNBA must come first. They're investing real money now, and they want full commitment in return. By pushing training camps earlier and overlapping with major tournaments, they're drawing a hard line in the sand. And that line forces players to choose overseas money or WNBA loyalty. That's the tension. For many players, that overseas income is still necessary, even with rising WNBA salaries. The checks aren't equal across the board, and everyone knows that. But from the owner's point of view, they're tired of players arriving late, tired or injured after grinding through another full season overseas. They want focused athletes, healthy bodies, full dedication to the WNBA calendar. From a business angle, that argument isn't crazy. So while people are celebrating the media fallout, the spectacular self-inflicted collapse of some of Caitlyn Clark's loudest critics, like Sheryl Swoopes and Lexie Brown, the league itself is dealing with a full-blown business showdown. It's chaos everywhere. Chaos in the media with firings and fallout. Chaos in the boardroom with the CBA negotiations. This isn't small drama. It's a battle over control, professionalism, and who gets to shape the future of the league. And here's the wild part. All of this is happening right as the WNBA enters its most popular era ever. A golden moment, an unprecedented surge in attention, tickets, and money. And it's all driven by the very player some people tried so hard to tear down. Look at the pattern. The league's biggest problems right now are either self-inflicted, like these contract disputes, or the result of past negativity that refuse to adapt. The Swoopes-Brown situation tells the whole story. They weren't fighting failure, they were fighting success. Whether it's owners clashing with players over housing, veteran media voices pushing back against new talent, or gatekeepers trying to slow momentum, everyone seems to be fighting, except the person they blamed for everything. Caitlyn Clark isn't arguing, she's not complaining. She's just playing basketball, filling arenas, pulling eyeballs, and generating revenue for everyone involved. That's where the universe shows its sense of humor. The people who spent years saying Clark wasn't that good, was overrated, or was just a moment, are now the ones scrambling to figure out their next move. Meanwhile, Clark's star keeps rising. The money she helped bring in is fueling the very league others tried to control. The era of the hater is fading fast. The era of the self-made superstar is here, and the silence from Gills Arena, where Swoopes and Brown once sat, says more than any argument ever could. The message is loud. The energy you put out always comes back around. Check the scoreboard. Whether you call it bad business or real karma, that silence is deafening. And this is where the whole saga comes full circle. Because when you zoom out and look at everything happening at once, the message couldn't be clearer. The league is louder, richer, and more relevant than it's ever been. But instead of unity, we're seeing infighting, power struggles, and exposed agendas everywhere. The irony is brutal. The same voices that spent years questioning Caitlyn Clark's value are now watching the league fight over the money she helped unlock. Owners arguing with players. Media platforms are reshuffling. Old gatekeepers are losing leverage. All while Clark keeps doing the one thing she's always done, hooping at a high level and packing buildings. She's not online throwing shots. She's not on podcasts defending herself. She's not caught up in the noise. She's just showing up, draining threes, and dragging the entire business forward, whether people like it or not. That's why this moment matters. The firings weren't random. The CBA chaos isn't accidental. This is what happens when a sport grows faster than the people trying to control it. Some adapt, some double down on resentment, and some get left behind when the money starts asking hard questions. The era of fake objectivity is over. The era of quiet jealousy disguised as analysis is done. Fans see through it now. Numbers don't lie. Packed arenas don't lie. TV ratings don't lie. And let's be real, none of this disappears quietly. The fallout is still coming. The negotiations will get uglier, the power dynamics will keep shifting, and more uncomfortable truths will surface as this league keeps leveling up. That's why you need to stay locked in, because the stories behind the scenes don't always match what's said on camera. If you want the unfiltered breakdowns, the real business angles, and the stuff that doesn't make the highlight reels, you already know where to go. Follow Courtside Leaks. That's where the dots get connected. That's where the narratives get tested. And that's where the truth lives when the cameras turn off. Because while the league argues, while the critics fade, and while the power players scramble for control, Caitlyn Clark's impact keeps growing. The money keeps moving. And the silence from those who doubted her says everything. The scoreboard's been checked. The results are in, and this era isn't up for debate anymore. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.